Greetings, all. It is actually Mother's Day weekend as I record this devotional. So let me first begin by saying Happy Mother's Day to all of the moms out there. When I think of moms, and my mom went to be with the Lord back in 1994, so I've not had her for 26 years now, but I did have her for 33 years, and I'm so grateful for what she instilled in me and what she demonstrated in terms of those universal characteristics that all moms share, a selflessness, sacrifice, certainly a nurturing and wise love, a protecting love for their children and their household and their husbands. So just want to say Happy Mother's Day to all of you moms. I pray and trust that you have been celebrated and honored this weekend in a special way, and that actually takes place on a fairly regular basis in your world, that you're honored and cherished and appreciated. So happy Mother's Day. You know, it's interesting this weekend as I thought about what I might share. I was really challenged by a dear friend of mine. His name is Eric, and he has a mentor in faith by the name of Bill. And Bill shared something with Eric that Eric shared with me a few days ago, and it resonated. And Bill shared with Eric that he walks 5 miles a day. I'm not sure how fast Bill walks, but if we just extrapolate 12 to 15 minutes a mile, okay, that would be an hour to an hour and 15 minutes that he spends walking. And during his walk, he picks one topic, one subject, and that's all he thinks about. And that's a form of prayer and meditation, a focused type of prayer and meditation. But it struck me in my own prayer time, in my own thinking and meditation time, and in my own attempts to embrace the serenity of silence, how often my mind is everywhere. I mean, I'm bouncing around thinking about people and children and what's next and so forth. And certain times I seem to be a little disciplined, but I just felt like that was a discipline that I wanted to try to add to my growth and personal development. And so I decided the very next day after Eric shared it with me to give it a shot. And ironically, I landed on the word friendship as my focal point as I was going to grab some food for Rosie and I as part of my honoring her during Mother's Day weekend. She has a favorite breakfast place, North Star Cafe, so I grabbed breakfast sandwiches for her and I over the weekend of Mother's Day. And during that 30-minute round trip, friendship was my word, in part because I've got a dear friend whose birthday is Mother's Day weekend. He's really close. He and I both are really close. We share a lot of common interests, kinship in the Lord, and certainly our perspective and worldview on being dads and fathers as African-American men and being engaged in the community and the like. So friendship is where I kind of landed in terms of my thinking for this devotional, and just tried to prayer storm, if you will, some of the words and phrases that resonate with me in thinking about friendship. And some of those are being and doing, caring and sharing, presence, the power of presence, love, kinship, common interest, life together, time with each other, shared experiences, joy, blessing, gift, give and take, trust. And then I reached out to Rosie and asked her to give me a few words, a couple of words that come to mind when friendship is mentioned. And she said reciprocity, which is a strong one, and commonality, which I think I covered in one of my particular words. But anyway, it was interesting just to give concentrated, dedicated thought to that. And not just during that 30-minute ride, I ended up the rest of the weekend carving out windows of time to think about friendship. And one of the phrases that actually really resonate, and where I want to go in my last couple of minutes here with you, is around the idea of knowing and being known. God is our real ultimate friend as followers of Christ. And I want to read a couple of passages that speak to that friendship and also the knowing that God has of us. And the flip side of that is our desire to know God and to let him know us and to honestly be who we are before him as we interface with other people as well. So I wanted to read a couple of passages of Scripture as I close my time with us. Here, I'm not sure when you're taking a look at this, but it could be any time during the day. So I start with the passage in John chapter 15, verses 13 through 15. And this is what Jesus writes. Greater love has no one than this, that he lay down his life for his friends. You are my friends if you do what I command, Jesus says. I no longer call you servants, because a servant does not know his master's business. Instead, I have called you friends. For everything that I have learned from my Father, I have made known to you. God calls us a friend through Jesus Christ, that we are his sons and daughters, but also his friends. That's a wonderful bit of assurance for me. And then I close with a passage in Psalm. The psalmist writes in Psalm 139, verses 23 and 24, Search me, O God, and know my heart. Test me and know my anxious thoughts. See if there is any offensive way in me, and lead me in the way of everlasting. Earlier in that psalm, the psalmist writes that God knows us. We can't hide from his presence. We can't run from his spirit. God knows when we come and go, when we lie down and get up. And that's pretty awesome to think about, and a bit intimidating at times too. But he knows us as a friend, and we're to allow him to know us fully and to come before him seeking to know who he is in all of his goodness and care and protection and provision and commands and wisdom. So friendship, being known and also knowing. And for me, it's friendship with the Lord is something I think about often and desire to walk in, and trust that you would give that thought and reflection as well, that friendship with the Lord is indeed our greatest friendship. God bless you.